beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I am going to be ranking and reviewing some of the latest things that I've been talking about here on my channel. I always do like a monthly haul and then I come back to you sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months, sometimes a couple of weeks later, and I let you know my final thoughts about the product. Because first impressions are all fine and dandy, but it's all about trying them out a bit more and forming your opinion about stuff. So I'm gonna let you know about some of the worst things that I've tried as of late and some of the best things that I've tried as of late. And I'm also super excited because this video is sponsored by one of my favorite brands, so let's roll that. I'm super excited because the beginning part of this video is sponsored by Scentbird. I love Scentbird. I have my own Scentbird subscription. I think Scentbird is just such a smart and modern way to just find, shop, and like experience fragrances. It is a subscription service that sends you a fragrance each month that you pick yourself. They do not pick this fragrance for you. You pick the fragrance yourself and you just get to shop around for different notes, different designers, different kind of fragrances, so that you don't end up with the same fragrance all the time, or you don't end up spending a lot of money on fragrances that you don't end up liking. This way you're able to experience and try so many different fragrances, so many different notes at a lower cost, so that you can find out what actually is the kind of fragrances that you like, what could be your signature fragrance, or maybe you're like me. I spray on fragrance at least twice a day. One of my favorite ways to wear fragrance actually is to bed. I always use fragrance before I go to bed. It is just part of my nighttime routine. I do my skincare, I just change into something comfortable, I spray myself with a perfume that's just comforting to me. There's a lot of different notes that I prefer for like going to bed. I love a spicy fragrance. I feel like it's just something very cozy about a spicy fragrance. I also love a green fragrance for nighttime in the summer, like tomato leaf is one of my favorite notes, especially for like nighttime. It's just part of my nighttime routine, and maybe it could be part of your nighttime routine as well. Scentbird could be a perfect place for you to discover what could be a perfect nighttime fragrance for you. So Scentbird comes in these little cases. Well, every month you get one of these, the ones that are inside. For $17 each month, you get to discover a bunch of different notes. Again, you get to pick the fragrance each time, no surprises, and there are so many different designers to choose from, like Prada, Gucci, Versace, but they also have a lot of like more niche perfumes and some more like independent brands. So definitely check out the website and see which one fits you. You can look at all the different brands, you can look at all the different notes. There's so many different ways to discover different new fragrances on the site, and the vials contain quite a lot of perfume. These are not like those small tester vials that you get. You get a 30-day supply of perfume in here, and I mean, and 30 days it was with you like spraying pretty liberally on you. And also the size of this is perfect for your handbag or for bringing traveling. I've brought so many different Scentbird fragrances traveling. So I got 3 different scents from Scentbird here to talk about. The first one is Maison 21G Paris Sage Supreme. This one is an herbal, woody, fresh green fragrance. And I will say this one is pretty almost like cologne, but it is very fresh and green. But I would say that this is more of a typical men's cologne-ish. I do think that it's pretty unisex, but if it's on a scale of like typical feminine, typical masculine scent, this is leaning a little bit more on the masculine side, but it is very fresh and green, and I do, it smells pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie. The next one is Catherine Malandrino in Mystère, and this one is Juicy Cranberry, Orange Zest, Peony, Musk, and Cedarwood. I love fruity fragrances, and I also really love that like the case is put together with 2 different colors. Why didn't I think of that? That's genius. Why didn't I do that? I should do that. Ugh, this is so... yeah, it's really fresh and like zesty. Yeah, the zesty cranberry orange, definitely. But there is a little bit of the musk, cedarwood, peony. But I like this one. It is like a grown-up fruity perfume, but it's not too sweet. Not a lot of that vanilla in there. Next one is a classic, and I've actually never owned this one, and this is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I have a friend whose this fragrance is one of her favorite fragrances. That is also one way to really use Scentbird. Try some of those cult favorite perfumes that you've been wanting to try, but maybe not wanting to commit like to a full size. This is lemon, green apple, cedar, bamboo, and musk. And ooh, this is fresher than I thought it was gonna be. I don't know what I was expecting. See, this is what I mean. Sometimes cult favorites are cult favorites for a reason. This is very fresh. If you're interested in trying out Scentbird, you can use the code Nyqvist 55 off for 55% off your first order, making your first order just over $7. Scentbird is available in the US and Canada, and check the description box for more info about this offer and also about the fragrances that I talked about this month. And thank you again so much, Scentbird, for sponsoring the beginning part of this video. I am so excited about Scentbird. I think this is one of the most fun and exciting ways to discover perfumes and probably the best subscription I've ever had. Usually when I do these rankings, I always start at my bottom, the fails, and then I work my way up to the absolute tippity top to the best products that I've tried this past month. And I will say, I don't really have anything where I'm like, this sucks. I usually have like 1 or 2 products where I'm like, I really, this is a bust. But this month I have a couple of products that I'm like, they're not the best. I've tried better products than this, but I also don't think that they're an absolute bust and that you should be like sad if you accidentally bought any of these. Don't come for me, but these are some of the pens that I got in PR for Makeup Forever. These are the Artist Color Pencils, and these are supposed to be like multi-use pencils that you can use anywhere, basically. Your brows, your eyes, your lips. So the white one and the beige ones, I have been using these in my waterline. Let me tell you, I don't think these are very nice. They're a great lip liner, and we'll get to that later, but they're a little bit too, honestly, in my humble opinion, a little bit too tuggy to be worn as I like to use my eye pencils, which is in my waterline. I don't think that these work for that. I don't think that they're especially good at that. I have so many better beige and white eyeliners in my collection. I don't think these work like that. I want to say sorry, but really not. And I feel the same about this one. I used this quite recently and I've been using it a couple of times since. This is the Revlon Gel Serum Blush, and this one is the peachy one. It is in the secret color peach, 130. It's something peach. This is honestly, I mean, the color is beautiful. This is a beautiful color. It comes in a little squeezy tube like this. Honestly, I think that like everything about this product, the way it blends, the way it wears, all of it is really good, except I think that it is a little bit too sheer. It blends out too sheerly, and it's always nice with a blush that's not too pigmented. For some people, I prefer a little bit of pigment in my blush. I don't want them to be like an eyeshadow, but I prefer them to be a little bit more pigmented because then it stretches over more skin tones. And I think that this one is just too sheer. You can build it up a little bit, but honestly, I think that this one, I understand the whole thing about a serum gel blush that you want it to be a flush of color, but I think that this lacks a little bit of pigment, and I think you can get something better at a drugstore that's just a little bit more pigmented. Next thing is the Kosas. This one I bought at the Sephora sale. By the way, I did film this look. Is it live? No, it's coming tomorrow. This look, I filmed it. It's coming tomorrow. This is I think these are called wet sticks, which honestly is the name is a choice. Wet stick is a choice of a name. Let's just leave it at that. This one is in Summer Simmer. Beautiful color, looks beautiful on. Again, I've said this before on my channel, but there are products that have the longevity of a Hubba Bubba. Like 2 seconds and the flavor's gone. This one, it almost like just sinks into your lips like a moisturizer, which is nice if it's a moisturizer, but this is a lipstick. And like, I love that it's moisturizing. I love that it feels nice and looks good on the lips, but the longevity, there needed to be something else in this to just make it last a little longer, because packaging, color, consistency, all of that is beautiful, but it just disappears and sinks into your lips too quickly. This is too much of a balm that there's literally just not a point to it having a color because it disappears too quickly. I think there are better options on the market. That's just, again, I want to say humble opinion. Honestly, not so very humble. Then we have this, and this is, honestly, I think this is a great product. Okay, this is where we come into preference. Of course, there's going to be some preference in these things because this is me reviewing stuff. So I always try to let you know when I think there's a problem with the quality or when it's just a preference thing. This is a preference thing. These are the Sigma lip creams. These are very pigmented lip glosses that have the look and the feel of like a, you can see, it's fully pigmented lip cream. It's like a liquid lipstick, but like glossy, shiny. I don't like that. I don't like that. If I'm doing a fully opaque color, I never do something this glossy that like isn't gonna have a little bit of a grip to my lips. So I honestly think it's super comfortable. It's really nice. The colors they have are all this color, basically. A pinky nude, they're all this color, but they are nice, they are pretty, they are wearable, it's comfortable, but just I will never reach for this because if I'm using a gloss or an oil, I want it to be semi-transparent. This isn't my jive. I just think it's messy and I don't go for it. Sorry. I usually don't review like sometimes when they come up with new colors of stuff or like a blush in a new color. I try to keep it at like eyeshadow palettes because I feel like sometimes things can go a little bit array there. But I wanted to talk about this mainly because I'm gonna talk about another highlighter from Glamlight as well in just a little bit. And this is the Ghost Face Highlighter Duo that they released with their Ghost Face collection, which was, it feels like it's ages ago, but it was like a month ago. This one has two different highlighters, and I think that this is a 2017 highlighter. If you know, you know. It is very blinding. This one is almost a little bit like a sparkly blinding, like a wet look. I prefer this one. And for me, I don't want a highlighter to be sparkly. I used to love even like a full-on glittery highlighter. Now I'm more into the effortless, just a little bit of a sheen on the cheeks. I don't want it to be sparkly, I don't want it to be glittery, and I feel like Glamlight with the formulas that they have been a little bit on the sparkly side, which is not my favorite. But if you want that super icy beam up to outer space highlight, this is that. Just not my favorite. Just not my favorite. And again, we're talking about the same, but like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not my favorite. And this is the What's Up Beauty Serengeti highlighters. First of all, I know some people love this packaging. I don't love a plastic packaging. There's something about this, it's just not my favorite. I don't know why, but I just don't love it. The inside is really pretty, but this one comes in two colors, and this is the dark color, which again, it's not bad. It's like a pinky and a beigey, and they're pretty similar. This is a smooth highlighter, and I do think that it is really pretty. It's more of a not super blinding. I think the formula is beautiful. I just wish that they had come out with more than two colors, and I also wish that not both of the colors had been like more of a pinky color, because it's not my absolute favorite. I would like something that's a little bit more warmer. This one has like it's like a pink base, you can see, with like a gold sheen, and again, it's just the color choice of this one. I do like the formula though. It's very smooth, it's very beautiful. If you want that super blinding highlighter though, this isn't that. This is more of like what I have on today. It's more like a glow, but it's like not that blinding highlighter. I just don't love the color, and I don't love the packaging. I think that's just the preference thing though. There's something about this that just, I don't know why. It's just not my journey. They just came out with an eyeshadow palette that I have here somewhere as well that I haven't tried yet. That packaging, 12 out of 10. Boy, is it beautiful. Don't cancel me, but I'm gonna put the scene on here. This is the Midi Xenon by Natasha Denona. I have done a separate video on this palette. Honestly, I think this palette is boring. I'm sorry, but there is not enough, and this is me, and there's always people that are like, oh, I love gray eyeshadow. That's great, but there is not enough variety in this one compared to the Mini Xenon to warrant basically anyone buying this one over the Mini Xenon one. I have the Mini Xenon one, and I will not be reaching for this one over that one. I just don't see a world where that is happening. There are so many eyeshadow palettes that I feel have a more interesting gray toned thing going on in this one. I just think that a lot of these look very, very similar, and I feel like I understand this whole like making a black and white palette, but there are more undertones to be had in this color story, and I wish you would have taken a little bit more chances with this one. The quality is there, like there's nothing wrong with the quality, but for me, this is not one of her most fun palettes. I think if you like this color story, just get the mini xenon. It's like, what, $29, and you basically have this, but in 5 shades. I love Fantasy Cosmetica, but I don't love this palette. This is the Warlock palette. I've seen a lot of my friends saying they absolutely love this palette. Personally, I don't think that this palette holds up to their other palettes. I think the other palettes that the brand has released had way better quality than this one, especially when it comes to the mattes. Shimmers are stunning, especially this one that's like a red to a green. Absolutely beautiful, but I don't think the mattes, first of all, I don't think the undertones go together, and I don't think the mattes have the same great quality as the one in they released before. Was that the Rogue palette? The Rogue palette was amazing. That's my favorite. The Fighter palette has amazing mattes as well. These are just a little mediocre. I think the mattes in this took a step back, and I really hope, and I've heard rumors that the mattes are going to be better in the future, or maybe even this one can be improved a bit, because I just don't think the mattes are as good in this one as their normal mattes are, but the shimmers are still great though. And they just came out with some holographic shimmers as well, and those are so incredibly spectacular. I'm honestly kind of blown away by how good those are. I'm not the person that usually goes gaga over a neutral palette or neutral look. I say as I'm wearing a neutral smoky eye, but it's not my most favorite thing to wear. And with the Sigma Beauty and the Beast, I do think that this palette is a little predictable. With that being said, Sigma really did bring their A game with the formulas in this one, especially the matte formula is that incredible matte formula that they have had in their collab palettes as of late, and the formula of the mattes are just really, really good. I just think the color story is a little lame. It's a little boring. Not my favorite part of this collection. My favorite part of this collection we'll talk about in a bit, because that's a really nice part of this collection. Here we're coming into the Sumerian Sunset by Adept Cosmetics, which again, also, this is more of preferences. I love Star Trek. This is based on a Sumerian Sunset in Star Trek, and I bought this because I love warm tones and I love Star Trek. So I think there are really fun palettes in here. There are some multi-chromes, there are some duochromes, there are 2 rows of special shades and 1 row of mattes. And for me, I don't love these the selection of mattes. I wish that one matte would have been darker. I don't love that the darkest color in these are just a mid-tone color, and I also don't feel like I can build up any of these colors to be as dark as I want my outer corner to be. And this one does not work as an inner corner highlight for me. This one does not work as an inner corner highlight for me. It's just the matte selection just makes me not love this palette. I think the shimmers are beautiful though. I think that Adept Cosmetics makes really good quality palettes, but you have to be loving shimmers more than mattes to get really into their palettes, in just my humble opinion. I still think the best color story they've ever made is the palette that Heather Austin did for them. That color story and the color selection is just really, really good. Quality is beautiful. Again, if you love shimmers, this is gonna be for you. I would like to put the formula of the highlighter from Glamlight and Friday the 13th. I would love to put that at the tippity top because I think that formula is beautiful. This is a smoother formula. There is a little sparkle to this, especially when you like look at it, but this really goes on more smoothly. And the reason why this one isn't at the top is because I feel like, look at how nice that looks. This is a blue. Isn't that like really, really nice? I really like look at that, it's gone. And then there's like blue. I think it's beautiful, and it really isn't very sparkly. It's not 100% smooth, but it definitely is a smooth blue highlighter. And I hope that this formula that they have in this highlighter, that they bring this formula to their next upcoming highlighters that they do as well, even though like I don't reach for a blue highlighter that often, especially not, I have a little bit more of a warmer undertone, so I really need to be like leaning into the blue makeup to make a highlighter like this not look super obvious and weird on my skin. If you have a cool undertone, definitely try like a purple or blue highlighter. Even if you're just doing a neutral look, it's gonna look bomb. So I like the formula of this one. I just hope they make this kind of a formula in other colors as well. And also, some people were asking me why I didn't do a video on the Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's because my PR package got lost. So I don't have the collection. Glamlight said they're gonna send it out to me again. I don't know if they are gonna do that or not, but just letting you know that That's the reason why I didn't do a video. Not that I hate them, not that I didn't like the collection, I just simply do not have it. And if it doesn't get to me before Black Friday, I'm just gonna buy it myself on Black Friday. I've really been enjoying the Revlon Serum Tint. This is a broad spectrum SPF 15. I have this one in, it's 316, but I think it's like tan sand or something. I'm not 100% sure. I will put it down below. This is a light coverage tint on me and it looks super fresh on the skin. I did, as I'm wearing this, I have been mixing these, either I've been mixing it with a full coverage foundation. I think this is amazing to mix to get the coverage down in the full coverage foundation, or I've been using it on my own and I've been like powdering my face and it just looks like it doesn't look obvious. It looks like just a light tint, a light coverage tint. It just makes your skin look a little bit more even. It gives a little bit like, I just think it looks great. It doesn't look weird on my skin. I will say if I don't powder it, it's not that it's sticky, but it definitely has that like moisturizing look to it. And for me, so I like to powder it. Is this going to be my favorite tint of all times? No, but I really like how it feels. I really like how it looks, and it's been great to mix with as well. And I've actually been enjoying it a lot. The color of this one is a smidgen too peach for me, but honestly, I've been enjoying this one. It's a nice tint at the drugstore if you want to try it out. I bought this on Amazon, but I know it's available at Ulta as well. I don't know if Target has it, but I kind of like it. Just be prepared, it is light coverage. Don't think you're gonna get a medium coverage. Don't think it's buildable. It is not. This is the Nyqvist Cosmetics Rich Romantic Palette. I think the formulation of this one and the choice of mattes are just gorgeous. There is a light inner corner highlight for me. There are some shimmery options if you want to get an inner corner highlight too. There is like some light options, some dark options, both in mattes and shimmers. I like that there's almost like a grungy, greeny brown end here. Some peaches, some reds, pinks, purples. I like the color story a lot. It's like almost like an updated version of the Love palette, the original by Natasha Nona. I think it's beautiful. The only thing that I don't love in this palette is that a lot of these, you can see here, it's a green tint to a lot of these shimmers, and I don't think that that fits. This one, it's a little bit of a greeny brown, like I said, but there are 3 shimmers in here that has like a green tint to it, and I don't get that. I understand that there's a lot of pigments, and I haven't myself formulated makeup, but I am kind of aware of how like formulations work and what kind of pigments there are and what they do. And a lot of the pigments that make multichromes do have a green shift to it. Like there's a green end to the spectrum of how they shift. And I feel like maybe 1 multichrome or 2 multichromes in this palette would have been enough instead of making 3 shadows that have that like green tint to it, because I don't think it goes with the theme. And I understand that to get that like pink to gold, if it's a multichrome, it ends with the green. I understand that that's how the pigment is, but I do think that maybe have cut like 1 or 2 of those and put something else in here would have like fit the color scheme a little bit better, because now I just feel like there are 3 green leaning shimmers in here that don't 100% make sense. I really enjoy the lip oils by Fantasy Cosmetica, and the only reason why I'm not putting these higher is because I love these 2. It's a yellow one and it is like a gray one, a gray black with shimmer. These are sheer, watery, beautiful, smell wonderful. This is also watery and like smells beautiful, but it is more pigmented. So this is more of a pigmented red, and I think that this is, and I don't have all colors. And I think that this is the reason why I'm not putting this higher, because I feel like there's inconsistencies in how these look on the lips. These are sheer, wearable, beautiful, and this is more of a pigmented red. So I don't know how the other ones are, but I kind of wish that this also would have been more of a sheer red and a little bit more watery tint on the lips like these. So I love these 2. I think this is beautiful too, but I think it's too pigmented, and the inconsistency makes me be like, I don't know how the others are. There have been so many good palettes that have come out this season, and I feel like there's a lot of really good products left to talk about. One of them was the release that Gourmande Beauty did. They released some of these elemental palettes, and I'm gonna show you swatches of all of these. There are 5 different palettes, basically a neutral, a green, a purple, a blue, and a red. almost like a red peachy one. I think these are really beautiful. The quality is really nice. Is it my absolute favorite quality in the world? No, but it's a really good quality and I really enjoy them. My absolute favorite is the green one. I think the green one has the best variety. The only reason why I don't think that these are at the absolute top is because, well, first of all, I think the formula is good, but it's not absolutely amazing. There's still a little bit of a way to go with the mattes, but I still think they're really nice and they worked out beautiful in the eyes. I have a dedicated video to these, and in almost all of the palettes, not in the neutral one, but in the other ones, there are two colors that are maybe a smidgen too close to warrant having both of them. So I feel like there could have been a little bit more of a difference between two of the colors. But honestly, overall, like if we look at the green palette, I feel like overall there's a really good variety in this one. And I think that honestly with this one, maybe you could argue that these are a little bit similar, but actually I think this one also, all the colors do make a difference. They are different. There's a cool tone, there's a warm tone, there's a, you get it. But if you look at the like the blue and the red one, for example, here you have two colors that are a little bit too similar. If this one had just been a little lighter, it would have made a world of difference. But I do think that these are really nice, and I really enjoy the direction that Game Beauty has gone with when it comes to their quality. Because I feel like those palettes that they had before, the ones that were like a fold up, those were nice. But the quality never blew me away the way the packaging did. But like the green one here, this is so incredibly nice, and this like iridescent shade at the top, I really like this one. If you are looking for a fun monochromatic palette from an indie brand, I think these are really good. Is it my absolute favorite matte formula? No, but it is a good formula, definitely. This is the Lunar Beauty A Siren Sunset palette. Per usual, super beautiful artwork in the front. I think that the color story that's in here is really beautiful, and the formula, the mattes are the same great formula that I think that Lunar Beauty always has, but the shimmers are the best shimmer formula that Lunar Beauty has ever had. It honestly, smooth, impactful. There's a multi-chrome in here, there's some duochromes in here. Honestly, the formulation of the shimmers blew me away. I definitely hope that they keep this. It's a really beautiful. They don't even have to make all the shimmers in the next palettes like this, but like the pop of just a more special shimmer like this truly makes a difference in a palette. I think the color story is the reason why I'm not putting this at the top, because I think the quality is beautiful. It is leaning a little bit too neutral for my liking. I don't hate neutrals though, but I wish that maybe we have thrown in like one more colored matte. Like, did we need both this one, and this one? No. This, and this, they're all three too similar to be in a mermaid themed palette. We didn't need three lighter taupes for that. So I think that like maybe like pushing the envelope one more when we're doing like a siren inspired palette and bring in like one more color shade. Because for me, I feel like both the purple and the blue could have benefited from having like a lighter purple and a lighter blue matte as well. Again, these are just my preferences. The Friday the 13th palette by Glamlight is probably one of my favorite color stories they've ever done. Not necessarily because this is so my color story, but because this truly showed that they were able to do something different. It is not a big palette, it is not a monochromatic palette, it is not a rainbow palette. It's just such a nice, moody, grungy, gritty, horror-themed eyeshadow palette. I think they did such a good job. For me personally, of course, I would have liked something light in here, but this is a horror-themed eyeshadow palette. I think it makes perfect sense. There are nothing like that in here, and I could, like I always can with any of these things, I can just reach into my collection and bring something out of my own. I just really like where they went with this color story. I like the layout of the palette. I think they did really good. I am impressed by this palette. I'm impressed by the packaging, the sizing of it. I like this one a lot, and I am super excited about the color story of the Nightmare of Elm, like on Elm Street palettes as well. So I really do need to be getting those two palettes for sure. For sure, I'm picking that up. A lip oil that I like even more, and I'm just mentioning this briefly, even though you technically cannot purchase this one as a single, and this is from Unearthly Cosmetics, and this is the lip oil that they had in their, look at that, it's like a gel-like lip oil. They had this in their Halloween box. It's like a mystery box, not a mystery box, but it's like a collection box, and you buy the full collection. All of the lippies in that collection are beautiful. This formula She needs to bring this back with more colors that you can buy individually, because this gel-like, glass-like lip oil gloss hybrid formula is beautiful, and I really enjoy it, and I enjoy this packaging as well. And I really hope that she will bring this back so that more people can enjoy this formula, because this is a great lip oil formula. Absolutely love it, and the color is stunning too. Look at that. Look at the mirror-like. This is the other Beauty and the Beast low palette, and this is the Beauty and the Beast cheek palette. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. There is a warm, almost like taffy orange caramelly blush. There is a warm, like golden pinky blush, and then there is a nice warmer champagne highlighter that is a transparent base, so it will stretch over quite a lot of skin tones. Stunning. Formulation, packaging, all of it, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is the favorite cheek palette that I think that they have ever done. I love the colors. I love it. Definitely recommending this one. So if you love Beauty and the Beast and you're thinking like, ugh, that eyeshadow palette is just not my color story, maybe you're also not into neutrals, this palette is beautiful. And Sigma's having a sale right now as well, so definitely do check that out. I know that Sigma's having a sale and you can stack affiliate codes on top, so you can get even more of a discount. And I'm pretty sure that Glamlight told me that their sale, you're going to be able to stack a code as well. Always try that. When you're doing a Black Friday sale, because Black Friday is next week, is that not crazy? When you're doing some shopping during Black Friday, make sure to see if you can stack a code, because in a bunch of places you can, and then you can get even more of a discount. This was the first palette that I tried from Nomad Cosmetics, and this is the Harvest Moon palette, and I gotta say, I really like the quality. I think this palette is stunning. It is beautiful. I love the color story. Wish there was something with a little lighter. I will say that all of these mattes are really dark, which is amazing if you, like me, love a pigmented eyeshadow, or if you have a deeper skin tone, because these will show up on you. They're super pigmented. I honestly don't know what I expected with the formula from Ensley Rain, but it is a really nice formula, and I have not tried anything exactly like this shimmer formula before. It is a really beautiful one. There's even some that are a little bit holographic in here. Honestly, it's beautiful. How many times have I said that? I'm blown away by the quality. The color story, and this is just me, I feel like it could have been a little bit more varied. I feel like there could have been at least 1 or 2 lighter shimmers, 1 or 2 lighter mattes, to not make this palette be a little bit one-noted. With that being said though, like this shadow right here, it is called Tombstone and Sparkling Cider. This one has like holographic particles in it. The shadows in themselves, stunning. And this is just, now we're getting into preferences. I would just have switched this color story around a little bit more, but I can't deny that it's a really beautiful color story, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting their new palette, the one that has like pastels as well, in PR, and I will definitely be creating with it, because that is exactly what I was looking for, a mix between dark and light. But if this color story is speaking to you, I know they're a little bit expensive, but you can get some money off with a code. You don't have to use my code, just use somebody's code and get some money off. If you like this color story, it's a really nice formula, both the shimmers and the mattes. Stunning. This is the Nomad Cosmetics Sickly Sweet palette. I did put this one on top from the Ensley Rain, basically for the sole reason that I actually been reaching for this one more than I have the Ensley Rain one, because this is such a nice accent palette for me. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again, if you love pastels, and if you wear full pastel looks a lot, listen. Get more than one pastel palette, enjoy it, have fun, life is short. But if you're like me and you usually only use pastels as a accent or as a companion palette, like a pastel palette is more of a companion palette to you, don't get too many. Get one. This one is great. The one from Bella Beauté bar is great. There is one from BH Cosmetics. I don't even know if they still have that one. That one is also great. You don't need to have a billion. That's what I'm trying to say. But I will say, if you like a matte inner corner, or if you like a pastel shade on the lid and neutrals in the crease, this one literally has everything that you are looking for. And the quality is really beautiful. I think it's stunning. Did I need this many pastel shadows on its own in my life? That I don't know. And I myself, I also really like when a pastel palette includes a white, because I feel like then you can manipulate the shadows even more. But again, now we're getting into just personal preferences. Like I said before, I think the lip pencils by Makeup Forever are way better than the eye pencils. And with that being said, they're all just called color pencils, I think. Yeah, the artist color pencils. They're all called that. They're meant to be multi-use, like function pencils. But I think the formulation works so much better on the lips than they do on the eyes, because on the lips, they are that perfect, like, I don't want to call it like tugging, but it's like they have that formulation that just glides on, but not too creamy. So it dries down and actually does keep your lipstick or lip gloss or whatever you're having on top. It keeps it locked in place. But when you use it on your eyes, especially with me, I have like more aging eyelids. They're a little, like the skin is a little loose. I feel like it's not creamy enough for that area for me, and especially in the waterline. So I think that these are a great lip liner. I just don't love them on my eyes. And I'm sure though, if you can find a good color for a brow pencil, I'm sure that it could work for that, just because they're not overly creamy. But I love them for the lips. I don't love them for the eyes. Oh, and this color, by the way, is the Anywhere Caffeine color. I feel like a lot of people have been talking about that. I've been really loving the House Labs concealer. I know this is a little bit off topic. I've been using this one a lot as of late. I'm even wearing it today. I think this concealer is beautiful. The only thing I don't like is this part. Like the applicator is a little bit, like you can see, it's a little bendy. Oh my god, did I put concealer everywhere? And it feels like when you pull it out, it feels like you're gonna break it. But it is a really nice full, like this. You feel like you're gonna break it. It's a really nice full coverage concealer that is creamy without being smeary or greasy, and it has really nice coverage, and it does set down a little bit on itself, so you can use a minimal amount of powder, which really helps with making your under eyes feel and look smooth. And I even have eczema going on right now in my under eyes, and I feel like since I use so little powder with this one, it really helps with not drying out my under eyes too much, not showing too much texture. I really have been enjoying this concealer, and it's very pigmented, and a little goes a long way. You can get great coverage, and you don't have to use a lot of powder. So if you, like me, have more fine lines in your under eyes and you like to use as little powder as possible, but you also don't like creasing, this one, honestly, it's a really good concealer. And if you also, like me, didn't love the foundation, this is way better than the foundation. Way better. I also really, and I'm wearing this one today. This is the highlighter that I'm talking about that I'm wearing today. I think it's so beautiful. This is from Moira. This is their Dreamlight highlighters. I have it in number 5, Love Struck, and it is like a peach to a pink gold, like duochrome highlighter. These are meant to be those like duochrome iridescent highlighters. This one is, it is a nice highlighter that is visible, but it's not beaming. It's no sparkles, no glitters, and it just looks so nice on the skin. If you're looking for a lovely neutral peach that looks honestly kind of natural on the skin, definitely number 5. I've been blown away by this highlighter. There used to be a little dome on this. I've used it so much. I've used this non-stop for 2 weeks. I think this highlighter is amazing, and I kind of want to get another color just to see if it's only this color or if other colors are as good. But if you love a peach highlighter, number 5, Love Struck, 10 out of 10 recommend. In a way, I kind of think that this is like the best thing that I've tried as of late, but I'm not gonna put an eye pencil in top 3. Listen, but imagine that I honestly think that this is the best. This is the white eye pencil. It's called Fake Away by Tarte. It's a white eye pencil. Best white eye pencil I've ever tried in my life. It comes in a beige as well, and next time I'm ordering from Tarte, I think the beige one is available at Sephora and Ulta, but the white one has not arrived yet. But next time I'm ordering, I'm getting the beige one as well. I want to see if it's as good as this white one. If you, like me, love a stark white waterline when you want to get into some really contrasty and intense eye looks, this one is great. Best one I've ever tried. Cannot recommend it enough. It's so good. Okay, I'm gonna do only palettes for top 3 because there's been a lot of really good palettes, and I am gonna put the Bella Beauté Bar Recently De-Influenced palette. I personally think that this packaging, and it's mainly because it's like just a shiny packaging with like the picture on the front. I think there are so many more things you can do with packaging, and I really hope that, because Bella Beauté bar has upped their formula in 2023 and their formula is incredible, and I really hope that now they up the quality of their palettes. I don't mind the picture. I think the picture is cool. The theming, not my favorite theming for an eyeshadow palette. The color story is beautiful. There is another palette from Bella Beauté bar that I'm putting on top of this, mainly because I like that color story more, and also because that one has more mattes than this one, and also that I think that because of that, the palette is a couple of dollars more affordable. You can use a code again to get some money off the palette. I love this like reddish corner here, but mainly all of these shades are a little bit more like special shades, which does bring the cost up quite a bit. So this is $69, which is the same price as the Natasha Denona palette. And this is where I'm like, maybe we need to up the packaging a little bit to be able to like fully confidently charge $69 for the palette, because the quality of these, incredible. I really, really love the Bella Beauté bar formula. I think they have a great formula going on. They've really changed their formula and just improved it for the better this year. And it used to be good and now it's great. So quality, 10 out of 10. I really hope the packaging can follow along for the next year. And I feel the same about the basic Witch palette. Again, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think this is a $65 palette. And again, quality of the eyeshadows, like there are some of these are special shades, some of these are metallics. Stunning, like beautiful shades. There's even a pastel here, there's a dark shadow, there's this moody like grayish lavender. So pretty. Love the color story, love the quality. This one has, I think, 1 or 2 more mattes. I prefer this one personally, but I also love these kind of colors, and I love this color here, that like yellowy orange. We all know that I love that kind of a color. Had so much fun with this palette. Love the look that I filmed for YouTube with this palette. Highly recommend, honestly, both of these palettes. I have the new Bella Beauté bar palette as well. I actually got it last night, and I'm just so excited about this company, and I cannot wait to see what 2024 is going to bring for them. I was almost going to say 2023, but I feel like we're in November and I still think we're in 2022. I don't really know when that's going to sort itself out, but I'm expecting New Year's to be a very confusing situation. So number 1, I'm putting the Fall Magic by Unearthly Cosmetics. I think this is beautiful. Again, I think this palette, it is a little bit more heavy duty. Like it feels a little bit more heavy duty, and I do like the way that they have upped the packaging a little bit, and the inside looks very professional as well. Think that, and this is one of those things that sometimes you have to feel the packaging to feel the difference. I personally prefer a matte touch packaging, but I know that a lot of people prefer the shiny packaging for cleaning. It's just me, I prefer the matte touch. But the quality and the color story of this palette, I think it's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And I always prefer, or like I want to recommend the color story, that not only is this beautiful, but also like you could go neutral with this palette. You could go bold and colorful. That's what I did. I played with the greens. Love the looks that I did here on YouTube. These shadows were so beautiful as well. And I just think that this palette is stunning. You can go pink, you can go green, you could go neutral. Quality of these shimmers, stunning. Same here. Unearthly, I really love the Unearthly Cosmetics quality for years, but she's like slowly and surely, like now I feel like she landed in this kind of a quality that she's had this past like year that's just really nice. It's really nice. The shimmers are beautiful. They're like this thin sparkly formula that is opaque without being chunky, and it's just beautiful. Really recommend this one. I think it is beautiful. I'm wearing Sorcerer's Smoke today, which is the other palette that they came up with at the same time as this one. If you were looking for something that's a little bit more neutral leaning, really enjoying this one. I think this is a beautiful palette, and you can expect the Sorcerer's Smoke to be pretty high up as well. And I think that was everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. I truly enjoyed trying out all of these products. There are some really sickening products in here. They're just really high quality. And I feel like there are still a couple of really good things to rank towards the end of the year. So we are definitely doing one more before I am doing my yearly ranking all the palettes that I've tried during the year. Last year, it was over 100 palettes in that video, and I'm guessing it's gonna be no less this year as well. I love filming those videos, and I hope you are looking forward to seeing my next ranking as well. Thank you again so much, Scentbird, for sponsoring this video. I love Scentbird so much. Check out the info in the description box to see more about them, and check out the description box to see more info about all the things that I talked about as well. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you again tomorrow for another one of my 4 indie palettes 4 looks. Bye!